Right now, I'm joined by Beauvais Lyons with the University of Tennessee. Thank you so much for coming this morning.
Glad to be here.
Well, I know you have an exhibit happening right now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So at Red Gallery, which is affiliated with Robin Easter Design on Jackson Avenue, the full month of March, we have an exhibit from a group in Malaysia, in Borneo, called Pangrok Sulap, and they're very large woodcuts. One is 32 feet long. It uses four 4x8 sheets of MDF board. And we've exhibited that this month, and then this past week we've been working with two of the artists from this group on our own project featuring Knoxville.
Wow, and so your students have gotten the chance to work with these two artists. What's that experience been like?
Well, we've hosted lots of visiting artists in our printmaking program, but each one is unique and special, and it's a kind of engaged learning for the students because we get to learn their methods, and we actually are showing them some of the things we do. But what's most unique about their printing is they don't use a press. So after they've inked the relief block, like a woodcut or rubber stamp, then we lay fabric over it, and then a backing sheet, and then people walk on it. So the people are the press for their projects.
Wow, and can you explain kind of the mission and the meaning behind this art?
Sure. So the collective from rural Borneo is very much in some ways like parts of East Tennessee, where economies are working, people are working to create creative economies to help support their communities. And that's exactly the kind of work they do. It's storytelling that's in a response to issues that face them. Significantly with overlogging areas and mining impact the people there. So some of their work comments on that, but they also create images about irrigation and creating rural electrification. In some ways it's sort of like East Tennessee was 90 years ago in parts of it, just in terms of creating self-sufficiency. So their art helps support their communities that way.
Wow. And I know that you have the exhibit happening today, so we have some of those details that we can show up on the screen.
Right.
That's happening at 1 this afternoon, and it's going until 5 tonight, and it's also on Fridays. And then also you're going to have an exhibit at the Big Ears Festival, right? Can you tell us about that?
During Big Ears, you can go to Red Gallery every day, Thursday through Sunday of next week. And then we'll be there at the museum because the KMA is the public-facing free part of Big Ears programming. So we'll be in the South Garden inking this large block we've created, and we will involve people from the community printing it while we play music and so forth. So this will be during intermissions from the program in the Great Hall. And we really look forward to sharing our project with the community. The image is inspired by we spent our first day going around Knoxville. We went to Sharps Ridge and Fort Dickerson, and a lot of their work has aerial views of cities and so forth. So that's what we've done. We've got a series of creatures who are sitting sort of in a space that looks like Fort Dickerson overlooking the city, and then there's a raccoon with a Weigel's cup and a possum playing a banjo, and they're looking down on a kind of imaginary Knoxville. It has Neyland Stadium, the Sun Sphere, the Tennessee Theater marquee, and various other images. So it looks familiar, but it's also kind of an invented world that we've created, and this has come out of conversations with the students and our guest artists.
That is wonderful. Well, unfortunately, we are running out of time and have to send it to break, but we could just talk about this all day. Thank you so much for sharing with us. When we come back from break, we will have all you need to know in sports.